Thank you. Good afternoon, members of the service design community. I am proud and honored to be here to present this project on behalf of our team, and a big greeting to our client representative, Miikka, who's sitting over there and who's not taking a part of my presentation because this is mine. But this has been a great team effort. So my name is Karoliina Tiuraniemi, and I work at Siili Solutions as lead business designer. And we've been working together with Fintraffic to create the Finnish Maritime single window called Nemo. So I'm going to tell you a bit about what exactly is the Maritime Single Window. Then I'll walk you through the service design process of our project. I'll present to you our vision concept. I'll talk a bit about the impact of our project, and then I'll have some key takeaways for us and maybe even for you. But first of all, let me start with the video that we created for this Service Design Award last summer, and we had quite a lot of fun making it.
In Finland, 90% of foreign trade is carried by sea. Shipping for us is a big deal. There is a multitude of data to be collected and submitted. It is a complex network of communication between multiple stakeholders. Let me introduce you to Nemo, the maritime single window that will boost the national productivity. Sounds impressive, right? But no small undertaking, let me tell you. We always start by examining the current state of operations. It's like crafting a story. We conducted interviews, observations, and facilitated workshops to develop a shared understanding. We're pretty good at that. Identifying and prioritizing challenges is crucial. On such a voyage, you need a great team with diverse skills. We utilize systems thinking and a holistic approach that encompasses all disciplines. We envisioned the future by creating a story that resonated emotionally and fostered a mutual understanding. Who doesn't love a good story? Service design brought clarity. Visual design, emotional engagement, and co-creation played a crucial role in change management. We will change the ways of working, build a revolutionary data platform, and boost the productivity of the nation.
Somewhat over the top, but hey, we wanted to win this thing, so what can you say? So, what exactly is the Maritime Single Window? 90% of foreign trade in Finland is carried by sea. So, logistically speaking, Finland is an island. There are approximately 100 vessels arriving in Finnish ports every day, and there are up to 20 notifications for each port visit. So this amounts to 730,000 notifications per year. There are more than 20 stakeholders guiding and monitoring the operations of an individual vessel. You have here the customs, the port authorities, the shipping companies, the shipping agents, border control, waste management, and the list just goes on and on. Here you can see some of the data that is collected during a port visit. For example, the arrival time, the hazardous materials, and the maritime health. In principle, each EU member country is collecting the same port call data, but not quite. This is what the current reality looks like. A huge amount of time is spent communicating back and forth, submitting information manually, checking and double-checking. The processes are complex and slow. The current Finnish system is outdated and prone to errors, requires multiple data submissions, and the same data needs to be modified as it is moving between different countries. The EU regulation defines the European Maritime Single Window environment through which port notification information is harmonized across the EU member states. It states that the information needs to be reused and shared transparently between different actors. These single windows are sharing information nationally, but also with other member states throughout the central EU system. Siili Solutions is building for Fintraffic, Finland's national single window, and it's called Nemo. We started by creating a vision concept that would be shaping the future for the next 10 years. So Nemo will be a national data platform for maritime traffic and logistics. It utilizes digitalization, automation, and standardization. The public data platform is neutral, but it can be used for building various commercial services of added value. Our long-term vision is to increase the national productivity of Finland. So let me walk you through our service design process next. The holistic approach of the Nemo concept creation required different disciplines in the team. We had business and service design, user experience lead, visual design lead, solution architect, and a tech lead. Additionally, a program manager and a project manager supported us from our client FinTraffic. And we were also joined by 2 UI designers later on to help facilitate our workshops and also to create the interactive prototype. We started by conducting 40 interviews and 5 observations within the Finnish maritime industry to better understand the current state and identify the challenges. We talked with ports, shipping companies, operators, agents, and different authorities. At the same time, we were laying groundwork for the co-creation phase, as well as the overall change management. We prepared our draft of the present state together with the stakeholders in a series of meetings. We used the draft to enable the mutual discussion between the stakeholders. We had to convince our client to include the authorities as well as the commercial companies under the same roof, but the results surprised even us. Our stakeholders, when they came to our workshops, they were already inspired and motivated. They participated actively, and we could see them forming a shared understanding. We went through our systemic overview of the present state, arrival, and departure. We asked the participants to add their own perspectives, correct any misunderstandings that we may have had, and highlight challenges in their daily work. In the present state, we wanted to illustrate a story to build an emotional connection and form a mutual understanding of the challenges of the different stakeholders. But we also wanted to bring systems thinking to the table, map the data flow and the recurring mandatory notifications and commercial documents, and list all the different ways of communicating. In addition to emails and phone calls, we even heard of a couple of faxes and letters. We then described the whole process from the viewpoint of each individual stakeholder, and in the bottom we listed the different IT systems, because it's the people and the business processes that matter more than the current IT systems. We built one story for arrival and another one for departure. In the vision workshops, we identified and prioritized challenges together with the stakeholders. They then worked in small cross-functional teams, creating ideas, solutions, or early concepts for our vision concept. Our stakeholders became very committed through this work together. They requested more workshops in the future, and they initiated building a community that they wanted to call Friends of Nemo. We built the vision concept around these themes. We wanted to build a dynamic data governance model, provide shared situational awareness to the different stakeholders, give them personalized data according to their needs and also according to the data that they were allowed to see. We wanted to utilize automation and modernization and build a system that would be flexible and scalable for future use as well, to accommodate any changes in the technologies or even the regulations. And obviously, everything was around the human-centered user experience. We also had other themes here, such as working within the shared ecosystem of stakeholders, promoting sustainability, increasing our commercial opportunities to the different companies, and renew the ways of working, the roles and the responsibilities together with the stakeholders. We created the visual brand guidelines in a series of workshops together with the client. And our visual lead described the characters in the illustration based on the stakeholders met and insights gathered. You can even see a character for Nemo up there talking to Captain Andre. The massive discovery phase took us 6 months. We started from the interviews and observations in February, continued to the present state and the vision workshops in March. Then our team gathered in April to work on the vision concept, and then we validated it together with the stakeholders in May and June. So this is the vision concept that we created. Shaping the future for the next 10 years, the Nemo vision concept consists of the concept story, the data flow, a prototype, and a blueprint. We are portraying here a maritime data platform that's combining public and commercial data in a way that benefits all the stakeholders within the maritime ecosystem. The concept story starts already from the trade agreement, and it illustrates the different stages of the port visit. The data flow incorporates systems thinking to the concept story. It maps the stakeholder roles and tasks in the story with the data utilization as well as the data flow throughout the ecosystem. The conceptual interactive prototype demonstrates one possible user experience for the future. This was also used as a tangible point of discussion for the stakeholders, a way to understand what they could be feeling and doing in the future. But as you can see, it was a very wireframe-like at this point, as it should be. And finally, this is the blueprint that provides a systemic visual overview of the concept story as well as the data flow. And this is just a summary because the entire concept story was over 30 scenes long, and the data flow was a 111-page PowerPoint. Here you can see a bit about the size of this blueprint. So this is the size that we had to print it in order for the smallest text in the data bubbles to still be readable. We are hanging it up there in a seminar that we attended, but we also had it up in the Siili offices over in Helsinki. Our commercial director called it the costliest curtains of the capital, because this was the result of an entire team working for 6 months. So what was the impact of our project? Our present state was praised by the tenured Associate Professor of Maritime Transport, Ulla Tapaninen, from the Tallinn University of Technology. She said that, "I have not seen anybody in the field of maritime logistics who has so far been able to put together such a holistic overview of port arrivals and departures." We were able to bring together different stakeholders from the maritime industry, authorities, as well as commercial companies. We started the change management for this mandatory system already from the beginning. As a result of the intensive concept creation, we now have a very committed stakeholder group working with us throughout the implementation. The implementation work started a bit over 1 year ago. So far, we've clarified the processes for companies registering to Nemo. Previously, they had one central administrator for anybody who was using the current system, but now we have company-specific administrators administering the roles within their company. We've also created mobile interfaces for shipping agents where they can receive notifications of missing data. Previously, if they forgot something, they would have been fined by authorities. Nemo also provides a clear, systematic way for the EU formalities. There's quite a lot of them. The current system is like this big, long form straight out from the 90s, and if you would print it out, it would be 11 A4 pages. But we have structured it and systemized it. In the future, we will be optimizing business processes for savings as well as environmental impact. One of the applications is going to be virtual arrival, the contemporary procedure for ships to arrive in the port utilizing situational awareness. This can decrease 24% of carbon dioxide emissions during one trip and also cut the costs by 20% for the shipping companies. Nemo enables these solutions on a national scale. Our team has been considered a global forerunner, creating added commercial value from the maritime single window. Our team has been a guest speaker in global maritime events around the world. And while creating the concept for Nemo, we've also created an export product to sell to other countries. The mandatory parts of Nemo will be taken into use in August 25, but our work continues even after that, and then we start creating the added commercial value. So what did we learn from this project? For service designers, we truly believe that the multidisciplinary team that we had is the key to successful concept creation projects. Service design brought us clarity. Visual design brought the emotional engagement, both for the stakeholders, the client, as well as the team itself. We had systemic approach with data architecture and business processes, and we used co-creation for concept creation, understanding the context, as well as change management. For clients, here are a few takeaways as well. We had a visionary client who enabled us with all of these. So trust the practitioners, give space for creative thinking. If you need complex discovery in a difficult context, it does require time and resources, and high-quality visual outcome needs investment. With Nemo, we aim to change the ways of working within the maritime domain, build a revolutionary data platform combining public and commercial data, and optimize the processes used within and across organizations. As the Finnish trade is heavily dependent on maritime traffic, our ultimate goal is to boost the productivity of the nation. So thank you for your attention. Here you can find a few links, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have, either now or later on. Thank you.